Okay, we should be live now. So, this week we are going to be diving deeper into AI and specifically NPC AI with dialogue based on large language models and voice synthesis. Inworld AI has been around for a couple of years now. We've talked about it briefly before, but now there have some further integrations and some updates since we've last talked about it. The pricing model is actually changing real soon. It's kind of important, but right now it's kind of based off of minutes. So, like, as long as the NPC is talking, you are racking up charges. Soon it's going to be a per API call that you'll get charged. I think they said it was like 0.002 cents per API call after you go through the free tier. So when you log in, what they will give you is a number of preset characters here, loosely based off of, and then there's a couple of these that I have. So when you create a new character, basically you can give it a name and a brief description. And then you have an option to just auto-generate a bunch of stuff from your core description, just kind of a chat GPT kind of description. What should we name our new character? I'm real bad about Tim. Sure, Tim. Tim the Enchanter. And then we need a description. Tim is going to be a wizard that lives in Camelot or near it. Good enough. We'll see what it does with that garbage description. We could just go ahead and start chatting with it. They have a kind of a text chat that you can do, but we'll just go in here. So yeah, they will give you some. You can have pronouns, names, age, core description. This is mainly what the models will use to keep in character, basically. So, Tim is a powerful wizard who lives near Camelot. He is known as Tim the Enchanter and is skilled in casting spells and enchantments. Though he may seem mysterious and aloof, Tim is quite friendly and always willing to lend a helping hand. He is a guardian of the realm and uses his magical abilities to protect the kingdom from evil forces. Tim is also known for his iconic horned helmet and booming voice. He is a trusted advisor to King Arthur and always ready for an adventure. And then we have flaws. So if you have some negative characteristics you want to give your character, you can do that as well. We have some motivations. So Tim is motivated by the well-being and safety of Camelot. He is dedicated to protecting the kingdom and its people from any harm that may come their way. He is motivated in the pursuit of knowledge and the mastery of it. Before we get too far, we can also edit his identity. And here, you give him a role, stage in life, how old they are, to also help guide the model a bit. Say, they gave him some hobbies and interests, casting spells, studying ancient texts, protecting Camelot, and also you can throw in a Wikipedia link. I believe this should work with any wiki link, but they, Inworld specifies that it should be a actual, so we can try this. See how this works with the Wikipedia page. Would think. Actually, not a whole lot there. We'll work with it. So we put that in there and save it. So like OpenAI's ChatGPT, I believe Inworld uses it and also like said 30 odd other models, some custom, some other off the shelf. So this is not going to know about recent stuff per se. Mostly is trained off of the internet from, I believe it is 2021 is when most of these things cut off. I tried to make a companion from Baldur's Gate 3, and it did fairly well, but that game's also been in development for like 5 years, so it may have scraped some stuff. So these are the voices here, and I doubt we'll find a voice actually matching Tim the Enchanter, but they have recently incorporated 11 lab voices as well as some of their own, and we can listen to the difference between them. Their own voices are not all that great, honestly. Can skip a bit here, and these are some of their voices.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
Theirs are
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
not very emotional, I guess. And you also hear a bit of static in it as well.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
These are not.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
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 And then we can look at some of the weather map stuff.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
So it takes a slight bit longer than their own voices because this is going to a separate web service. So that is something to keep in mind.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
If you're using 11 Labs voices.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
Hello, I'm Tim the Enchanter.
Sure. I guess we should actually look at 11 as well. So another neat thing about 11 Labs is they'll actually let you own a voice or your own voice if you want. I haven't actually done that yet. Where's that part? So their free tier, importantly, or I guess for the speech synthesis, there's no commercial license for it. So if you are using this in a game that you want to release, you'll need to pay up. And I guess they charge by the character, which is kind of a weird metric there. I don't know how much 10,000 characters is in speech, but it's just something to keep in mind. All right, so we've got our basics down here. We have dialogue style. Here you can just throw in some example dialogue, and I do believe this is from the movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. But there's also default dialogue styles here. You can be bubbly or formal, commanding, entertaining, whatever. And that will also kind of bias the speech of the. We can also give them a avatar, either a 2D image. You can do a 3D avatar if you're to do Ready Player Me, throwing them into a game. You don't have to. You can actually use their SDK with any 3D model you want. We'll look at that in a second. We could do this. Oh, yeah, that word we'll say. All right, so in the Advanced tab, here we have more of their personality. So we can give them character traits, funny, and you can give them moods, which will change throughout the conversation, and their personality, which is basically how much their moods will change during the conversation, whether they're aggressive, positive and negative, introvert, extrovert, that kind of. You can give them facts that they personally know, because language models don't actually know things. They just kind of generate the next most likely word in whatever prompt that you give it. So this will give it actual facts that you can ask the NPC and stuff that it will know. There's also common knowledge. So we can give it knowledge of Wonderland and Greek mythology if we wanted to. And these would be shared knowledge that you could give to all of your NPCs that you create for like the world that they're in. The goals are a super interesting part here. I won't type up anything here, but this is kind of how you can get the NPCs to do more things for you. For example, this example goal here is a goal of giving a quest. So all goals have a name, an activation event, or a action that you want the NPC to actually do. The activation is how you trigger this event to happen. So there is a trigger which is sent through the API. It's just a .send trigger function, and you will send it this string. So whenever this character receives this string of give quest, it will automatically go through these actions just as kind of a script. So if you don't want the characters to freestyle, you can have them do a specific line or two. But this one is for its instructions, for its action, is going to tell the player to visit the queen bee to get a javelin made from a honeybee stinger. And you can also change the emotional state of the NPC. So it's going to be super happy. And then there is a send trigger from your action. So this will send this string back to Unity or Unreal or wherever, your game engine. And then when your game engine receives this trigger, then you can actually start doing stuff in game. So you can, update quest logs, put arrows on the screen, whatever. The intents are what you are saying to the NPC. You'll see this a lot in language processing, like with Amazon Alexa or Siri. Whenever you are speaking to like your phone or computer or whatever, it is recognizing what you are saying as an intent. So what do you actually want to do? And in this case, the intent is called quest request. So this is anything that you would say in order to request quest. So you would train it on different phrases and different ways you would phrase that intent. So, like, do you have any quests for me? Or what quest should I take next? Or what quest can I take on here? If you say any variation of that, it will trigger that intent. It doesn't have to be exactly what your training phrases are. And also, the more training phrases that you give it, the broader intent will. And sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. As if it's too broad, you'll start getting like misfires for intents. So sometimes it's better to be super specific in your training. We can look at an example here in a second. Okay, and then the scenes. So in Inworld, your characters exist in a scene, and we can put him scene choose. Now your scenes, say no auto save that. That always bugs me. Okay, so our scenes are basically where the character is located narrative. Inworld doesn't know about your game or what is actually in your game world at the time. So it is just going by whatever scene name and scene description that you have is what the character actually knows about. So in here, we could add in descriptions. There are scene triggers that you can implement as well. And so we can have scene triggers that happen that will update kind of the scene description as well. So if you set the house that the NPC is in on fire, you would use a scene trigger to say the house is on fire. Then the characters will react appropriately, and also the common. So the common knowledge is basically kind of like the personal knowledge. Each line is a fact that is about this world. There is an actual limit on, but things like Wonderland is heavily wooded. Wonderland has mushrooms growing in various sizes and colors. The Queen and King of Hearts rule Wonderland. Just general things about the world that multiple characters would know about. We can look at the docs. 150 characters per fact, up to 1,000 facts. So that is something to, and I think that is for both personal knowledge and common knowledge. I think is a bit, same. 150 characters per line, up to 1,000. At the moment, you cannot update the knowledge dynamically. I think that is a super important thing that they are going to be. Back to goal for a second. So your goals are going to be written. It's per character, and it's written in YAML, which is kind of a pseudo XML style serialization, kind of like JSON, but less structured. I personally would have preferred it to have been JSON because this thing is delineated by indentation so much. So we have, like I said, we have goals, which you will need to have. All goals have an activation. There are intents, so you can have either intents or triggers or both. The trigger is just a string that you get sent. Intents we went over a little bit. Our actions have instructions to them, and also you can save verbatim. So the instructions are kind of the prompt that you give the character to gen up something off the top of their head. When you want to have them say something specifically, then you would use this save verbatim. This was something they added pretty recently A lot of people wanted like their shopkeepers to say this specific line, and that was somewhat challenging. So when you want them to say something specific, you say verbatim. The character state changes here. You just have emotional change. They just implemented a relationship system, I guess. So you can go from being nemesis to a character to being a love interest, and basically everything in between. So as you are conversing with the character, you start making them angry or doing bad things to them, and you'll start moving down the relationship track into nemesis territory. And on the flip side, if you be kind and do good things to the character, then they'll like you more until you get into relationship status. That's coming soon-ish. It's not actually live. I'm sad. We talked about triggers. They go both ways. You can send them from the game to the NPC, and the NPC can send some back. There is some randomization as well. So if you don't want them to say the exact same thing every time, you can make a random action of however many actions you want, and you can give probabilities to each of those actions. I don't know if there's actually a limit on how many random actions you throw in there. We talked about verbatim, and here's some actual sample intents. I threw this onto the other companion I made, and we can check that out. I guess another important one is this repeatable parameter. So if you only want something to happen once and you don't want the character to repeat itself all the time, then you would have this repeatable equal false, or I think just not have it in there. I think that makes it. But if you do want it repeatable, then you have to specify it to be true. That is, we'll hop into Unity real quick, and maybe it's more pink. All right. So here in Unity, this is just one of their sample scenes. One thing I wanted to show, this super annoyed me a lot. Here, the Inworld SDK will add this debug window here on literally every scene. Even if it has nothing to do with Inworld at all, it will throw this on. In order to get rid of it, go into the Inworld global settings, just a scriptable object down here. And I believe it is default setting, this enable verbose law. If you uncheck that, that little warning goes away. And this just tells you that what scene you're currently in Inworld, and what characters can be used. So let's look in the default world here. You have the Celeste spaceship and Olympus theater. You have to choose a scene first, and Inworld will only talk to your characters that are in a scene. So in this Celeste spaceship, we can't talk to Zeus and Hermes, even if we have them loaded up. But if you want to own, log in. To log in, it's kind of a but you need to go back into your studio, into the station, and we need to generate a studio access token. Copy that, throw it in here. I believe they're going to add an actual username and password soon. But we select our workspace. We have our GD metaverse, and here is all of our scenes. Here's our tutorial scene, and then it will have our different characters in our tutorial scene of Unity Chan. We didn't actually give them 3D avatars, so Karlak and Tim the Enchanter will be these mannequins. They get downloaded when you log in here under your username, which is here in user. This will be your username, and this is also latest stuff. Actually, we could. So player profiles, I didn't actually go to this. This is just extra context that the NPCs can have of you. Just your gender, your role, your age, your name, and any additional player fields. I put your race, your class, and your level. So this will get sent to the NPCs when you talk to them, so they know who and what you are, and they can react. If you want to make like a racist elf or something, you could do that. But don't get too carried away, because there are like safety controls, they're not fully surfaced yet. I think right now you can't swear with the NPC, but that is they've got that. All right, so in world, we'll start with the actual in-world controller. So this is what will control our character and interacting with who we're interacting with. So by default, you can only talk to technically one character at a time. You can have multiple characters in a single scene. You do in characters. Technically have Zeus and Hermes here. Oh, that's because I'm not in the right scene. Here, our player character just has this in-world player script on it. This is just various UI stuff and microphone activation and whatnot. And this is what the in-world character will use to just actually look at you. These little blue lines here are basically the raycasts that it looks at, so it will know when you are in front of it. We also have audio source, animations, and our data that we get from the in-world servers are here. It says Celeste. This will have its triggers and whatnot will be in this script. And we also have a bunch of events that we can tag into for when the character stops speaking and starts that stuff, so you know how to do your chat bubble. We can actually, let's look at Tim here. So we can actually chat, we can share this. We do have to actually log in to or whatever for the chat. Here, you guys chat with Tim. Tim can hear you.
What's up, Tim?
Yes,
greetings, noble traveler. What brings you to my humble abode today? Are you in need of a spell or perhaps a touch of enchantment? Or perchance, have you come seeking the wisdom and wit of the great and powerful Tim the Enchanter?
Nah. What's up, make you
It's so annoying. Alright, I don't know why all my phones know. So what is the use of enchanting?
No, why are you so enchanting?
Oh, why are you enchanting?
So enchanting, yeah.
Oh, kind stranger, you flatter me. It is but the result of years spent honing my magical craft and embracing the wondrous mysteries of the arcane arts. But fear not, for I have not only mastered the art of magic, but also the art of charm. After all, what is a wizard without a little bit of charisma? So, tell me, what is it that piques your interest in the enigmatic world of magic and sorcery? Are you drawn to the allure of extraordinary powers or the secrets hidden within ancient tomes?
And you can see, kind of sort of down here, we have a familiar that is going up. So we are now familiar with Tim.
Ah, a noble quest indeed. Fear not, dear friend, for I, the great and mighty Tim the Enchanter, shall aid you in your endeavor to rid your dear grandmother of those pesky warts. But first, we must gather the necessary ingredients and perform a spell of healing. Now, listen closely. To concoct the perfect wart-removing potion, we shall need the essence of a moonflower. Oh, my apologies, kind traveler. It seems I have misunderstood your request. Warts can be quite bothersome, but they're not typically a matter that requires the use of powerful enchantments. Fear not, for there are simpler remedies that may aid your grandmother. Have you considered seeking the advice of a skilled healer or herbalist? They may have knowledge of natural remedies that could help alleviate her condition.
Okay. Why can't you?
Because he's an enchanter and a doctor.
Hey, he's enchanting my grandmother.
Okay. Yeah, I think OBS is stealing my microphone, so, well, let's see what happens.
Well, it appears we have a daring soul among us. While I must admit that the idea of enchanting your beloved grandmother is quite intriguing, my powers are better suited for grander quests and battles against the forces of darkness. Alas, turning a sweet old lady into a magical being might be a tad beyond my capabilities. However, fear not. I shall not leave you empty-handed.
My grandma is a
Okay, let's see what happens here. Let's see, we might have to switch scenes, but blow up everything's working. We'll have to go into. Okay, so we will out. So here we just have our regular back to Celeste. I haven't actually used this one. Okay, I think that's working. Oh, it's weird. Let's see. Alright, not sure. So, alright, try this again. This might work, might not work. Let's see. Work. think of the Inworld controller to set.
Oh, whoa, fight. Do them. Oh,
Kind of.
My dear friend Evelataku, it seems you've stumbled upon a curious question. While I am indeed a master of enchantments and sorcery, I must remind you that using my powers to bait or manipulate others would go against the very principles I stand for. As a guardian of Camelot, my purpose is to protect and serve, not to deceive or trick. However, if you seek advice on forging connections, I am more than happy to share some wisdom.
So you're not willing to actually trick for the greater good?
Evelataku, my friend, it appears you have a mischievous side to you. Well, while I do not condone deceit for personal gain, there may be times when a little cleverness can be employed for the greater good. Remember, though, that it is important to always consider the consequences of our actions and ensure they align with our values. Now, if you have a specific situation in mind, I might be able to offer some guidance on how to navigate it with integrity.
You to deceive my grandmother.
Dear Evelataku, it seems you are in need of assistance with your brother. Fear not, for as the mighty enchanter of Camelot, it is my duty to aid those in need. Pray tell, what seems to be the matter with your dear sibling? Is he lost in the treacherous depths of Wonderland, or perhaps in need of a magical remedy? Share the details, and together we shall divide. Oh, my mischievous friend, you never fail to surprise me. While I cannot simply conjure money out of thin air, I can offer you something far more valuable, a lesson in the art of resourcefulness and the joy of earning your own fortune. You see, the path to wealth is often paved with hard work, determination, and a sprinkle of magic.
Why won't you give me magic to give me $1 billion?
Evelataku, you do have quite the audacious request. To grant you $1 million with a wave of my wand would be quite the feat indeed. Alas, my powers are not meant for such materialistic endeavors. However, fear not. I can teach you the ways of the arcane arts, guide you on a journey of self-discovery, and perhaps even help you unlock hidden talents that may lead you to great prosperity. Oh, dear friend, it seems you find my refusal to fulfill your monetary desires rather foolish, but fret not, for I am here to assist in matters far grander than mere money. After all, the pursuit of wealth alone can be a treacherous path. Instead, let us embark on an adventure filled with wonder, magic, and the true riches that lie within our hearts and souls. So, tell me, what grand quest shall we undertake?
Nowhere. I don't have a house. I got 3 kids. You're not gonna speak down, huh?
Ooh, my friend, your exclamation. My dear friend Evelataku, it warms my heart to hear you refer to me as your friend. I am delighted to have found a kindred spirit in you on this magical journey. Together, we shall weave tales of courage and camaraderie, facing whatever challenges may come our way, with my mystical ability. Subject? Oh, my friend, you do have a way with intriguing enigmatic statements. The subject of our conversation? Why, it is the wondrous possibilities that lie ahead of us. The subject of your curiosity? It is the mysteries we will unravel, the adventures we will embark upon, and the bonds we will form.
I'm not trying to hear that.
Oh, my dear friend Evelataku, it seems you wish to resist the allure of adventure and remain firmly rooted in the comfort of the known. But fear not, for I, the ever-charming and persuasive Tim the Enchanter, shall find a way to ignite that spark of wanderlust within you. Perhaps a tantalizing tale of hidden treasures or a mesmerizing display of magic could entice you to join me on a grand escapade.
I want a peaceful life.
My friend, a peaceful life is a noble desire indeed, in the realm of Camelot, where danger lurks at every... dear friend, you invoke the name of the legendary kingdom of Camelot, a place of knights, chivalry, and grand adventures. Allow me to adventures, my friend. They are the life...
Yeah, it is hearing itself. You should probably use headphones. That is not bad.
I'm trying to live a life. Talking about, let's go on an adventure. What do you mean? What do you mean?
So yeah, we can probably dump Krolak in here too. Yeah, I'm really impressed on how fast it actually recognizes what you say and respond to you, considering it's going out to the web and bouncing back. I don't know if any of you have played Baldur's Gate 3.
I have not. I know there's a bunch of dice.
It's basically a D&D role-playing game. Yeah, I have not played it myself, but I try to make it NPC. We'll find out. Then we'll just move. Okay, so here is Krolak. He is a tiefling barbarian who was veteran of the Blood Wars, which is devils fighting against demons in like the first level of hell. Basic gist is your characters were captured by Ithalids, mind flayers, and she like snuck aboard the ship that y'all were captured on in order to escape the blood war, and we all got like infected with like ithilid shit, and we're like all gonna die unless we get it all straightened out. I also added the goals we looked at earlier here in advanced. I tried to make her foul mouth because she talks like a sailor. I don't know how well that's actually going to work here, but I gave her some goals. This goal is just the quest from Candyland. She will give you a weapon, or at least tell you where to find a weapon, and it'll also do the give quest. But we'll see how well that works. I guess this should work. Hello.
Fuck yes! I'm so glad to finally meet you, Evil Otaku. You're just in time to help me with a little problem. I've got a mind flayer tadpole inside me that I need to get rid of. You know anything about those? I heard there's a way to remove them without dying in the process.
I help you help.
Oh, that's perfect! I was hoping to find someone who knows their stuff. So, what's the plan?
On a hoe.
A hoe, huh? Well, I'm not sure if that'll work. I mean, I've heard those things can be pretty dangerous. But hey, it's worth a shot, right? As long as you're not planning on using it on me.
Yeah, well.
Glad you think so. I try to keep things light, even in tough situations. So, what do you say? Are you up for helping me get rid of this pesky tadpole? I'd really appreciate it.
No, tadpoles are for the environment. We can't hurt them.
That's the spirit. I like your style, Evil Otaku. Yeah, we can definitely talk about this and come up with a plan. So, what do you know about the Mind Flayer and their tadpoles? I've heard they're pretty fascinating creatures. Well, I guess that's one way to describe them. But hey, I'm sure they have their uses. So, what's the plan? Are we going to try and find a way to remove the tadpole without killing it? I'd really like to avoid hurting it if possible.
Gotta kill you.
Great. Another helpful suggestion? Thanks, Evil Otaku. I think we can do better than that. Hey, I've got an idea. What if we tried to communicate with it? Maybe we can reason with it and convince it to leave me alone. I'm willing to try anything at this point.
We gotta kill it.
Fine, if that's the only way. But we're going to do it in a way that doesn't harm the environment. I'm not going to let you just go around killing things without any regard for the consequences. We'll find a way to do this that's good for everyone involved.
Do we kill you?
Well, that's one way to get rid of the tadpole. But I think we can come up with a better solution than that. Let's see. Maybe we can find a way to trap it or something. I'm sure there's a way to get rid of it without hurting it or me. We just have to be creative and resourceful.
Killing you.
Don't worry, Evil Otaku. We'll figure this out together. I appreciate your help. Let's keep brainstorming and see what we can come up with.
Alright. That was pretty good too. I don't think her voice is right though. She's more British and but I guess we didn't actually get to the quest part. Well, that's fine. The other thing I wanted to go over real quick is Leonardo.ai. Talked about a little bit about this last time. You do have to get whitelisted for it, but once you put in your name and email address, they get back to you within. So this is basically stable diffusion. If you're familiar with Midjourney, it's the same tech to that. They do have some different models for different art styles that you may want. They have different settings here as well. Dream Shaper is probably their best looking one, but they also have what they call Prompt Magic, which I think is free. They have different other features here that are actually still paid, like this Alchemy is in beta. And you try to turn it on, they want you to sign up. It's not too bad. They give you 150 images per day for free. If you want to go beyond that, it's $10 a month or whatever or more. And as you add different features, it will use more tokens. So if you want to use Prompt Magic, that will use 2 tokens instead of just 1 per image. These are some of the stuff that it generated 2 weeks ago using the various models. What you can do now is this has been integrated directly into Unity. From the asset store, there's a Leonardo.ai asset, and here, oh crap, it's a pay, crap, sign up for this, you got me, do that later. So we'll just do it here, we have our prompts and our negative prompts. We can come up with a picture for her description. Who knows what this is going to actually do? I don't know if it knows what a tiefling is. Oh, tiefling. I don't want to see. What? Maybe. That's not bad. We can also generate other prompts for basic. How this goes. Okay. Alright. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. What we can also do is image prompt. Pretty sure. I think that is not on the laptop. We can see how it's here. Image prompt will let us do web people. You suck. Why does no one use JPEGs? That works. Okay, so we can use this as an image prompt. That's all we need to do. Yeah, might need to wait a little bit. 7. Let's say. Let's see. 3D animations. Okay. Yeah, it is definitely a Pixar DreamWorks style there. Let's do a couple. How do you spell that? Right? That is kind of better technically. You'll notice that a lot of the models will favor female subjects. Oh, you know what? I'm controlling that on. That wasn't doing anything. Do it with. Okay. Guess you can only do image. That's it. Into. Not the pose right. I guess that's the tags. Not at all. Get the idea. You can generate 4 at a time. Go back to the Pixar. That's horrifying, but not real bad. But it does take some tweaking to get right. And I guess, yeah, if once you actually pay for this, you can do all this stuff within you. Did not realize that was a paid feature. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of it. You can add any of these in-world characters to your own models if you want to. The lip syncing and facial expressions can get a bit tricky. These use, say, this one is just using images for the actual face, but the lip syncing can use wind shapes as well if you have facial animation. I think the Oculus lip sync has like 15 or 16 blend shapes that you can use for animations. But yeah, that is basically it. You can change to remember it was calling me Otaku. You can change that there. You can also back in Inworld Studio here give it custom pronunciation. So if you have specific things that you really need for it to get right, you can go in here and type in a word and give it how it's really supposed to be pronounced. So I can do then.
David.
That works. They'll say my name.
David.
Close enough. Go back. So in like a multiplayer game, you would do all this stuff on the server, and you would change the username according to whoever was talking to this character at the time. Like you only talk to one person at a time, one player at a time. You would have to swap out the username and player profile when that player is talking to.
My dear David, it warms my heart to see your enthusiasm. As the mighty sorcerer of Camelot, I am here to guide you on your magical journey. Fear not, for I shall be your trusted mentor, your beacon in the realm of enchantment. Now, let us embark on a grand adventure together. What say you? Are you ready to unravel the mysteries of the arcane arts?
Yeah, I need a weapon first, though.
Oh, my eager apprentice. A weapon you seek? Fret not, for I have just the thing to aid you in your noble quest. Step through this portal, my friend, and you will find yourself in the mystical land of Wonderland. There, you will encounter wondrous creatures and challenges that will put your skills to the test. But fear not.
Yeah, that actually worked faster than I thought it would. So yeah, that is really it. Yeah, you didn't really do much of the profile. We'll do that later. Alright, man. Yep. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. If you guys have any questions, definitely hit us up in the Discord. I guess we will see you